All right, Shalom. This is the brother Ba'ar from the GMS Salt, GMS West Palm Camp. And first, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash. I'd like to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. I'd like to give salutations to the Akim, preaching the gospel across the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. Shalom, Akim. Shalom. This is John 21, verse 15. And it says, "So when they had dined, Yahushua saith to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs. He saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my sheep." Okay? He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua saith unto him, Feed my sheep. Khan. I wanted to bring that out because the Lord made it clear, to Peter. But he also made it clear to those of us who believe, those of us who are in the truth, who are in the truth. Okay? Feed his sheep. Feed his lambs. And that was a commandment. So, I bring out that precept because, in this truth, we're not, this is not a part-time thing. This is not something that you jump in and out of. All right? This is something that's in you. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's John 17 or Luke 17, verse 9, if I'm not mistaken. Let me bring it out. It's not a part of my list, but let me bring it out. Right? This is let me see. Yeah, verse 21. Salakia. Luke 17, verse 21, it says, Neither shall they say, Lo here, or Lo there, for behold, the kingdom of Yahweh is within you. All right? So, when we've been blessed with this blessing of understanding and of truth, it's who we are. It's not something that we're jumping in and out of. The Lord has opened our eyes. The Lord has awakened us from this deep sleep, and He's blessed us with understanding, and He's brought us back to remembrance, So now that the Lord has brought us back to remembrance and woken us out of this deep sleep, we have a job to do, and our job is to go out on the highways and byways and fish for the elect. But also, for my day-to-day, feed his sheep. Regardless where we are, we have to, edify, rebuke and correct brothers. Okay? This is not something that, that we just jump in and out of and we're part-time Israelites. We're not part-time Israelites. We are Israelites. It's our responsibility because the Lord has entrusted us with his word. Okay? He's chosen us to do his work and to feed his sheep and feed his lambs. If we love him, keep his commandments. And this is a commandment of the Lord, that we feed his lambs, feed his sheep. So when we're out on the highways and byways, or when we're out from our, day to day, we run into a lot of people. We run into random people. We even at work, we're working around, Jacob, because some of those Jacobs, they're not gonna you're not gonna see them out on the highways and the byways. Okay, they're not gonna be in at the gates. You know, these people, they're gonna be at work, or they're gonna be, you know, you're gonna see them around your neighborhood or whatever. But it's our responsibility to feed them as well, whether they hear or forbear. You know, because it's the commandment of the Lord. Okay, it's a commandment of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that we feed His people. Okay, and we have to feed them with the bread. We have to feed them with the bread of life. We have to feed them of the knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You know, it's our job. It's what we're supposed to do. You know, because this is what it's gonna be from now and moving forward. This is what it's gonna be. So you might as well get used to it and apply. Okay, because this is what it's gonna be. Because this kingdom is falling. Okay, and this kingdom is gonna crumble, and it's gonna perish and never rise up again. Okay, and then and our rulership is up next. So this is never gonna stop. Okay, we're never gonna. But in the kingdom of heaven, our people are gonna be blessed to have the understanding within them, have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding within themselves. Okay, so but all in the kingdom of heaven, the least and the least to the greatest, the least to the greatest is gonna know Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, but it's our job to feed the sheep, man, regardless where we are. You know, we are not to hold back our sword. You know, so but we're not, when we're not on the highways and byways, and we're interacting with people from our day to day. You know, if our conversation is spiritual, and we're speaking about the scriptures, and we're speaking about the times, it's our job to feed them. You know, because we can see in the spirit that they're seeking for answers, that they can see a lot of the things that are wrong in society, that are wrong with the world. So it's our job to feed them, whether they hear or forbear. You know, they may not believe, okay, at that moment, but it's still our job to feed them the bread. Okay, and this is let me bring this out. Let me go to Luke. All right, Luke 4:4. Luke 4:4 says, Salakia. Luke 4:4 says, and Yahushua answered him, saying, it is written, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of Yahweh. Okay, but this scripture, but the word is known as the bread. Okay, so when we come across the Lord's sheep, which is His people, okay, when we come across the lambs of His people, you know, we're supposed to feed them. We're supposed to feed them this bread, whether it be, you know, in small increments, because, you know, when you're interacting with people all around you, they, especially your family and friends or whatever, you know, they're not going to get this all in one shot. But you have to correct them little by little, you know. Give it to them. Give them the bread little by little. Even your homies in the world, when you're having conversations and they're talking about the things that they're experiencing, you give it to them little by little. Okay? Because most of the time, when you don't see them after a while, they come back to you and they be like, yo, I remember what you said, you know, and I see that and I experienced that, you know, and you give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and you let them know who they are, man, and you constantly encourage them, man. And let them know, man, you're a special people, man. You're a great people. You know, it's our job to remind them that, you know, to strengthen their hands, man. Like, yo, man, so they can walk with their head held high, not in pride, but knowing who they are, you know, with confidence, and knowing that the Lord loves them, because they know deep down inside in their spirit that we are better than everybody else, you know, and that's a blessing that the Lord has blessed us with, man. They can see it with their eyes that, man, in sports, we're outdoing everybody. You know, we're the foundation of culture all around the world. You know, they know deep down in their spirit that we're not like everybody else. Okay? And they're not able to, they're not, you know, the world isn't giving them the understanding of who they are and why they're so different. Okay? because they're being bombarded with this wicked spirit of, oh, we all bleed the same blood, we're all the same, we're all God's people. And that's not true, because we can clearly see that there's a difference between us and them. Okay, and the Most High written that in the scriptures. Okay, and we are to tell them that, and we are to tell them who they are and why they're in the position that they're in. We're supposed to feed the Most High sheep, feed his lambs. Okay, but as we're feeding his lambs, man, the Lord, the spirit of Salakia, okay, we have to understand that, the words that we say is very powerful. Okay, and even the spirits that are out there, they know the spirit of the Lord. They recognize the spirit of the Lord, whether they know it or not. But the spirit recognizes it. Okay, because even the 2/3 Jakes, or the Jakes that you come across in the world, they recognize and they know the spirit of the Lord based on the things that you're saying. Because someone else can come next to them, and they can interact with somebody else, and they would know. Because because a Jake in the world, especially who the so-called thugs, or the publicans in the scriptures, the lowly of Jacob, they are a spirit. We are still a spiritual people, and they are able to recognize someone who's a con artist. Okay, because those people, the publicans and the harlots, they are more sensitive to dialogue. They know when somebody is bullshitting. They know when somebody is wicked, because they're more sensitive to dialogue. And those of us who are in this truth, we have to be aware of that. Okay? But if you remain in the spirit, and you feed the lambs and you feed the sheep, they can tell and they can sense the spirit that's in you. Okay, they can sense that's the spirit of the Lord that's working through you. They may not know it, but a lot of these gangsters, a lot of these so-called thugs, they are very aware of our people. They are very aware of the spirit of the Lord. Okay, but I want to bring this out, right? This is Proverbs 18 verse 21. All right, Salakia. All right, Proverbs 18 verse 21, and it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Okay, so if you remain in the spirit of the Lord, and you feed his sheep, and you feed the sheep with the bread of the Lord. Okay, and you feed them the bread of the Most High, and you're correcting them, and you're rebuking them, and you're telling them who they are. You're gonna receive the fruits of it. Okay, you're feeding the Lord's people, man. You're feeding them life. Okay, because even whether they believe or not, for that moment, they're gonna have they're gonna be enlightened. Okay, by the things that you're saying to them, and they're gonna recognize that in the spirit. They're gonna recognize that's from a higher authority, or that's from a high spirit, whether they believe it or not. One thing about an unbeliever, they're not going to give credit to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. But those who are the hopeful elect, they're going to understand that. Even if they are thugs and publicans and harlots, they're going to know, because they're sensitive to dialogue. They're going to be able to peep if what you're saying is true or not, if it's coming from a high place or not, if it's spiritual or not. Okay, because these publicans, man, and sinners, man, they have heightened senses. So when we're out on the highways and byways, or going about from our day to day, we have to establish that with our people, man. We have to feed them, and we have to encourage them and lift them up, man, and strengthen their hands, whether they hear or forbear, okay, whether they accept it or not. You got to keep, feed the people, okay, so you can establish it, even if they don't believe, even if they don't fully come in, you have a good rapport with them, okay. We have a responsibility Okay, we have to do. It's the commandment of the Most High that we feed the sheep. You know, and you're gonna and without you knowing it, or we don't sit there and try to lord over our people. We try to lift them up out of their lower state, you know, to the best of our ability by feeding them and raising them up, you know. And if they follow it or not, they're gonna still look at you in a good light, okay? And they're gonna at least know. They're gonna be like, yeah, he you know. They're gonna be like, yeah, okay, yeah, he's a, you know, he know the Bible, man. He know. You're establishing a good rapport among the people, because life and death is in the power of the tongue, man. And this is what these so-called Christians don't understand. Okay, so when we come, we set the right foot forward with our people. You know, this is why when we judge our people spiritually, man, you know, we come at our people spiritually. We don't come at them carnally. Okay, because the word is in us. You know, we've been doing this work so much that when we talk to people, we talk to our people, they get a feeling of that. You know, because of the words that we're saying. Because what we're saying is we speak on holy things, though we speak it in a way that they can understand it. You know, they're enlightened, at least for that moment. All right, but let me go to 1 Peter 3 verse 15. Salakia Akim, if this lesson isn't really going in order, because sometimes the way you have it in your head and the way you do the video, sometimes, you know, it's not always easy to translate what you have written in your notes to the video. But I hope you brothers are still being edified in this video. But let me go to 1 Peter's, right? 1 Peter's 3 verse 15. It says, but sanctify the Lord Yahweh in your hearts, and be ready always to give answer to every man that asketh you a reason for the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear. Okay, because when you know, those of us who are in this truth and those of us who believe, we can't help the zeal that the Most High gave us. You know, even when we're amongst 2/3 or, you know, the hopeful elect in the world, you know, we can't help but to go into the things that we go into the spiritual things. All right. And they're going to ask questions like, why do you believe in that? You know, what makes you think that? You know, but the scripture says, it says, be sanctified, but sanctify the Lord Yahweh in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear. You know, they're gonna ask of these things, and if you're in the right season, you'll be able to show it. You'll be able to show them in the scriptures. You know, because they want to know, why do you think the way you think and not the way, and you don't think like everybody else in the world. You know, and this is gonna be very very beneficial to those of us who are in this truth during the time of Jacob's trouble, because we're gonna always maintain that same mentality. Okay, everybody that we interact with, you know, we're gonna always be in the spirit, you know, Yahweh Shem Yashar willing, you know, and these spirits are going to be able to recognize, man. All right, they're going to be able to recognize whether if you're of the Lord or not. Okay, and these people, these spirits, they do know. These demons, they do know. You know, they know the spirit of the Lord. All right, but let me keep going. Actually, man, I can go on. It says, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. For it is better, if the will of Yahweh be so, that ye suffer for well doing than for evil doing. For Hamashiach also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Yahweh, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. And our spirits are in prison, because this flesh is we're subjected to the flesh. Okay, this flesh is chains of darkness, man. Okay, and it says, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Yahweh waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water. The like figure whereunto even baptism doeth also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward Yahweh by the resurrection of Yahushua Hamashiach, okay, who is gone into heaven and is on the right hand of Yahweh, angels and authorities and powers being made subject unto him. Okay, so basically, you know, when we're in, we have to be in good conversation. We have to be, it says, but the answer of a good conscience towards Yahweh. You know, if you have a good conscience towards Yahweh, your answer is always going to be in spirit. It's always going to be in season and with salt. Okay, you know. So when we're feeding the lambs, man, we're coming from a high place and not of ourselves. All right, but let me keep going. All right. So we have to be ready to answer when the hopeful elect ask, because the 1/3 is a lot bigger than the 1/3 is actually bigger than we think. Salakia. The 2/3 is bigger than the 1/3, but the 1/3 is a lot bigger than the 144,000. Okay, there's going to be a lot of our people who are not on the who are not out on the highways and byways, who will be delivered, because when they heard the word, they believed. Okay. And they believed, and they took actions in their life to apply the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. You know, and we teach them that, you know, hey man, you know, you're not going to be perfect, but you know, through your faith, you're going to keep trying. You know, and we give them that, and we encourage them to do so. You know, and we're always ready to give them answer when, you know, they ask for anything. You know, if they have any questions, we make ourselves available. You know, because it's our job. It's a commandment that we feed them. Okay? But let me go to Jeremiah 3 verse 15. Okay? Because, you know, we don't like to say that we're the men of the Lord. We'll let the lips of other men say these things. You know, we're not gonna exalt ourselves. You know, because, you know, we're in the world. We were once in the world, and you know, we're not saved yet, you know, but the scripture says what it says, and everything in the word is manifesting itself. You know, this is Jeremiah 3 verse 15, and it says, I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Okay, and Lord willing, we're those men, but you know, through our actions, you know, we're doing as we're commanded. You know, so, you know, we are the pastors, you know, because we're prophesying the word of the Most High. We're crying aloud, sparing not, and we're showing His people their transgressions. Okay, and when we have conversations, we're having holy conversations, and we're feeding the people in spirit and in truth. Okay, so those the prophets that the people see on the highways and byways, those are the pastors that the Most High has sent, man, to speak His word. Okay, according to His word, it says, let me read it again, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart. Okay, what is the heart of the Most High? The law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, the Old Testament and the New Testament. Okay, and we're always ready to give the people answer according to the scriptures. Okay, because this is the time that the Most High appointed for us to do this. All right, but let me continue. All right. Actually, let me see if I can find it. So I just want you brothers to be careful, you know, about what you say. All right, man. Let me see if I can find it. I forgot to write it down. It was a precept. All right, Slakia, hold on. All right, hold on, Akim. I forgot to write down this precept. Hold on. I'm going to find it for y'all. I'm going to try to make it quick. All right. Now, the spirits, they know whether what you're saying is of the Lord or not, right? Because in Acts 19, verse 15, it says, I'm just going to cut straight to the point, and it says, and the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? Okay, so if you don't come in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, these demons are going to know it. Okay, these demons are going to know whether you're coming in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And it says, and the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. So those demons jumped on them, man. Okay, and those demons were on the people. Okay, because those guys, those people were trying to, those people were. It says, and the man. Okay, Salaki, and the man. All right, that man tried to come to him and prophesying in the word, but he wasn't coming in truth, in spirit and in truth. Okay, he wasn't preaching the gospel, the true gospel. Okay, he wasn't coming in with the true doctrine. Okay, and that's these so-called Christians out here, man. All right, these unbelievers of our people, man. These demons in the time of Jacob's trouble, man, they're gonna pounce on them, man, and they're gonna wound them, man, and they're gonna be killed out there. Okay, but those of us who believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we're gonna be comforted and we're gonna be protected. Okay, by the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, because the words that are going to come out of our mouth, they're going to be of the Lord, and they're not going to be of our own heart. Okay, because these spirits recognize Yahushua. Okay, they recognize the spirit of Paul. Okay, and so life and death is in the power of the tongue, man. So we have to be aware of what we're speaking to our people. Okay, so you know when we have conversations with our people, you know we have to have holy conversations. Okay, because our conversation can't be of the world anymore, because the world will soon perish. Okay, we have to have holy conversation. We have to be kingdom minded. Okay, and we have to remind our people that the Lord is coming. Okay, and we have to make sure that we feed the people. Okay, Salaki, let me see if I can bring out this one last precept. All right, let me go to Proverbs 15. You know, when I spoke earlier about, you know, establishing a good rapport with the people, you know, you do that by being ready to give answer, you know, and remaining in the spirit, even to the unbelievers, you know, and they could be possibly the hopeful elect, but you have to always be kingdom minded and always in a good conscience towards you. How about Shemal Shah? But let me Proverbs 15 verse 30. All right, and it says, the light of the eyes rejoiceth the heart, and a good report maketh the bones fat. Okay, the ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. The fear of the Lord is in the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Okay, so you know, that's establishing a good rapport amongst the people, you know, and especially for those who are going to listen and be enlightened and given understanding. Okay, so you're walking around and